what you gonna do when Chevy John Brown come for you?
Welcome, Santa Clarita Valley. We're here on the Neighborhood Watch. You know what that theme music means. Every first and third Thursday of the month, we talk about all things Santa Clarita Valley Crime Station related with Deputy Josh Dubin of the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station. I did call it the crime station, didn't I?
You did. I don't know what a crime station is. It's the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station.
It's the Sheriff Station.
However,
it's not a crime station.
You're growing a beard.
I am growing a beard.
What's the occasion?
Someone's got to have the facial hair for law enforcement around here.
And that's going to be
Josh Dubin.
And that's going to be you.
Clean shaven, Deputy Josh Dubin. Here with me in the studio is also RJ Kelly of the International Tax Network. And we try to use this show to work with our community partners, the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station officials, to let people know about what they need to know for law enforcement, how they cannot be a victim of crime. And along that vein, RJ, you had some tax scams that you had been hearing about, and that's kind of your forte. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about that, as far as what do people need to know, and what are you hearing about in your line of work as far as tax related?
Well, it seems like the criminals are getting more brazen in how they do things, and what happened in two specific incidents. One was an individual called up pretending to be from Edison and told a restaurant owner that they hadn't paid the utility bill, and if it wasn't paid by 3 o'clock, they were going to shut everything off, and it was going to cost them a $2,000 deposit. So the individual went down without checking with Edison, without checking with the spouse to see if it had been paid, and ran over and gave him $500. And then afterwards they realized, oh my gosh, what did I do? And they called me, and they called a couple other people, and of course by then it was too late. So that's just, one situation on how they're prying on our local small businesses in a bad economy, and I think that's really, really a sad scenario. And the second one, just to bleed them both together, was a local individual that's been a friend of mine for a lot of years in the service business, and he got hired to do a project, requested a deposit. They said they were going to send the deposit. Of course, the deposit never got there. But a week later, they called and said that their friend had mailed out the deposit, and they mailed too much, and they wanted to get a $500 refund because they needed to have that money to pay for some of the other activities going on with the project. And of course, this individual was smart enough. He got on Facebook, sent it out to all his friends and Facebook, and got a ton of responses. And of course, I've heard of this scam over many years, to where people are doing this, to where they pretend they're mailing in the money. Then they say they've overpaid and I need some of it back. And people will actually go down to Western Union or places and send them back the extra money.
Wow.
So that's pretty, that's pretty out there. And they're really, not just prying on homeowners now. They're out there really attacking the small business.
So they're basically portraying themselves as, oh yeah, you just need to send this now, just give it right away. And so, I mean, obviously, if anybody's trying to do that, you want to let them know, hey, they should be checking with the agency. It seems like a quick call from SoCal or to Southern California Edison would have kind of cleared up that concern right away, right?
Yeah, it was an individual that a foreigner has a semi-language barrier and didn't really understand, was under a whole lot of pressure. The other spouse, has been having some issues lately, and so they were just totally not in the knowledge or mood to even understand, what had happened.
Hey, but that's why we're here on the hometown station every first and third Thursday of the month to talk about crime prevention, right?
Right. And, some of the outreach that we're doing at the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station is we've put out Nixles, as we talked about, Nixle, Facebook, Twitter, and we've put out messages about scams. And the Edison scam that he was just talking about is absolutely common, and that has happened throughout the Santa Clarita Valley. So, always trust your gut if you one call, like you said, one call to Edison, and you could, square that away, especially if they're requesting you to send, funds, green dot cards and bank transfers and Western Unions and stuff like that. That should always, raise a red flag.
So, Josh, you sent out the Sheriff's Department sent out a email blast. We subscribed to it, and we got an email blast talking about the jury situation. Do you remember that?
Which situation?
Well, it's the same situation where people are calling up individuals and saying, "Look, you missed your jury duty call."
Oh yeah, absolutely, and
trying
that's
to
just
get the
another
same $500,
right?
you know?
Right, and it's always and it ranges from a little bit of money to sometimes thousands of dollars. So.
An important thing to remember is you can get these notices that'll help you prevent, again, becoming a victim if you go to nixle.org or if you type in
Nixle.com.
Sorry, Nixle.com.
Sorry to interrupt you, Bearded Perry. It's www.nixle.com.
Or,
go ahead.
For the more savvy user like myself, Josh Dubin, I go to Google and I type Santa Clarita Nixle, and it gives you the option. The sheriff's station page comes up first, and the city also uses the Nixle service.
Right, absolutely. And like you said, if you just go to Google and type in Nixle Santa Clarita, you'll get our entire Nixle feed. And, you can scroll back through messages past and see what's going on with our station.
Well, we got a big show today. Thank you, RJ, for stopping by and giving us some tax tips. Again, RJ Kelly, International Tax Network, for your local tax needs, right?
It's a pleasure being here. It's nice to be sitting next to you instead of the back seat, Josh.
A little different perspective there. We have Commander Mike Parker from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department coming up next, and we got to take a quick commercial break on your Neighborhood Watch on your hometown station, AM 1220, KHTS.
Boys, what you want, what you gonna do when Chevy John don't come for you?
Welcome back, Santa Clarita Valley. There is a Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station patrol car in the lot outside of KHTS, and Jesse and the Jellyman are not on the air, which only means one thing. Deputy Josh Dubin is in the studio with us for the Neighborhood Watch. We're talking about Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station outreach, and every once in a while we have a guest comes along who is so very special. He transcends the Santa Clarita Valley local radio station genre, and I think we just might have that person on the line today.
I think we do.
In Commander Mike Parker.
Oh my gosh, what a build-up. This better be good.
I try to pick it up every day. Well, true or false, you were recently in the White House with President Barack Obama.
Well, I was in the White House, but the president got pulled away, but yeah, I was honored to be at the White House. Yeah.
He was probably nervous, Commander Parker. I can't blame him. So
he probably had I think he had something going on at the UN.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess priorities. But talk to us a little bit about for those who aren't aware, what do you do for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, Commander Parker?
Well, I'm area commander over the northern part of Los Angeles County, which includes Santa Clarita Valley, Antelope Valley, Malibu, Lost Hills area, and West Hollywood. And I was previously in charge of our press office.
And you've given a lot of seminars on social media, and that was one thing we wanted to talk about. The other thing was back to school, two topics that are, hot topics right now, obviously, with kids going back into the classroom. And Deputy Josh Dubin, you have some...
Well, as you know, yesterday, at least 50% of the schools in the Santa Clarita Valley returned to school, and then today is the other 50%. So I think this is extremely relevant. Kids using social media, a lot of back-to-school safety stuff. There's a lot of people out on the roadways. George Cummings earlier was talking about all the traffic congestion, especially around the Santa Clarita Valley. So it's the week. And
it's not just that there's traffic. There's a lot of new traffic. Parents taking routes for the first time, learning the areas. Do you have some tips and some kind of help for us, Commander Parker?
Sure. I'm going through the same thing everybody else is. We all got spoiled over the summer because, things are a little more relaxed. There's not as much traffic because people aren't going places at the exact same time. And now you have large numbers of people getting on the road at exactly the same time. And it's just a reminder we need to allow extra time to get to where we want to go. And that when we're dropping off and picking up the kids at the school, to remember to drive defensively. Unfortunately, some of the people, not you, whoever's listening, it can't possibly be you making the mistake, but other people are not paying attention. And dressing your kids up in bright clothes is a good idea to make them more visible for those people that are busy texting instead of looking at the road. And reminding your kids that, hey, this is a fun time for kids. I remember going back to school, even as much as I enjoyed the summer, it was a lot of fun. I used to get, I don't know if they still have peachy folders, but I get my new peachy folder and a new thing of crayons, depending upon how old I was. I gave those up 2-3 years ago. And
now, peachy folder, is that
fantastic.
An app?
What's that?
I said, is peachy folder, is that an app for the iPad? Because I didn't.
It might be today. I'm dating myself, but those of you who know what I'm talking about know exactly what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
But that high visibility, that for your kids, the driving defensively, and reminding them, hey, that it's not that you don't trust your kids, it's you don't trust that small number of people out there that are truly not paying attention.
Right, driving defensively, as they say.
Absolutely.
Now, is there going to be, should people expect to see a few more, a little more law enforcement present out in the community, with obviously people coming more back to school and there being a lot more drivers on the road, and you see, a higher, I would imagine, prevalence of infractions right about now?
Yeah, we countywide, we absolutely step up enforcement efforts, but we'd really rather not give people the tickets. If they could just pay attention, that'd be so much the better. But Josh, I think, can address Santa Clarita Valley more specifically.
Absolutely. And, through our traffic department at the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station, many of our schools have a valet program, and that is the deputies work with the school administrators. They work with the students, the older students, such as in the elementary schools, the 5th, the 6th graders, for a parental drop-off type program. I know at my kid's school that you're able to pull up, one of the 6th graders will be able to open the door, the child will, say goodbye to the parents, exit the vehicle, and then quickly move down the road in a safe fashion. So therefore, it, eliminates a lot of traffic congestion. Everybody's going the same way, and certain areas coned off. And this is all between a partnership between the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station and the school officials.
And the city also has a program, the Safe Routes, right, where they have a website. If you go to santa-clarita.com and type Safe Routes, they have suggested routes for your school. So that's something, if you're a parent in the Santa Clarita Valley, you definitely want to check out. And as far as any other tips, just related to the commute and the increase in collisions, or just being safe this time of year, as far as going back to school, Commander Parker?
I think we've touched on quite a few, but I think part of the tip too is to have the conversation with your child, and let them be excited and let them know to have fun. Don't depress them with your safety tips, but remind them that not everybody's a good person and that they can have fun. We want them to have fun, but to talk to them about stranger danger. But also, I've learned through the years, a lot of people they'll use the term stranger, but they don't explain what that means.
Right.
And so you want to talk about, what does that mean? Someone you don't know, and define it for them, and also to have a safety word or phrase. So, it is possible that you're not able to pick your child up at the appointed time, and you have to ask someone to pick them up. And so if you have your safety word or safety phrase, and that the child will remember, then when the person approaches them and says, Mom asked me to pick you up, Dad asked me to pick you up, if your child doesn't know them at all, it's not a good idea. It needs to be somebody who they know, and then this key phrase, and that kind of helps calm them. But I've also seen parents get their kids pretty worked up, because when you have those conversations, you should have them in a calm way. Right. Don't say it all excited and start crying and things like that. Unfortunately, that has a tendency to cause the kids meltdown.
Sure. Well, we got to take a quick commercial break, Commander Parker. We want to talk a little bit along that vein, also going at the social media aspects and what parents can talk to, a dialogue parents should have with their kids. We'll be right back on your hometown station, KHTS AM 1220. Thanks for sticking around.